And it's the week of Who Wins. And seeing as it's the end of the week, as with all weeks of Who Wins, I am cracking out 2 Sternritter videos this week, and we're starting with the first. Now, for those of you who don't know who the Sternritters are, allow me to educate you as I do with every one of these videos, because I'm certain not everyone who watches these videos knows. Then again, if you click on the video, I think you probably know who the character is. But the Sternritters, to cut it short, in the manga and Bleach, are humans with special abilities to use spiritual energy. They are capable of using spiritual energy for bows, things along those lines. And there was a select group of them as the main villains in the last arc that all had abilities corresponding with letters of the alphabet. So those were the Sternritters. And we have been going from Z to A, as the boss of them is A, and I'm saving a special one for him. And we're going with G right now. And G is Liltotto Lamperd, who is Sternritter G, the Glutton. Now, when I had to figure out who to put her against, I'm going to be honest, it was because her power is to eat things. That's basically, she can consume anything. Plus, she's got a couple standard Quincy abilities like firing arrows and stuff like that. But she can eat anything. So I'm like, how do I figure out who to put her up against? Because I'm like thinking, okay, the Blob's fat and likes to eat. But no, you just eat him because he's so freaking slow. She'd eat him in a heartbeat. So that's like, that'd be a dumb fight. And then I'm thinking, okay, maybe not someone whose power is to eat, but someone who's notably, like, who eats a lot and still powerful. And then I already did Jiraiya with Sternritter J, and I got another one coming up in a little bit this week. Another Bleach versus Naruto fight, but not dealing with the Sternritters. And I thought to myself, why not go Choji? Choji! He's the Yakimichi, man. He's the Yakimichi powerhouse who eats, got a bit of a weight problem, but he's comfortable with his weight. So just going over Sternritter G real quick. Liltotto, and I'm going to go, I'll call her Liltotto. Liltotto is her shrift, as it was, her ability is Sternritter G, the Glutton. She can consume whatever she chooses by shifting her mouth outwards and into extending form, allowing it to become a giant maw of jagged teeth, which eats whatever she pleases. However, as a side effect, she's constantly hungry. Also capable of manipulating Reishi, using Hirankaikyo, which is super speed, enhanced durability, enhanced endurance, Higlin Bogen, which is basically the Quincy arrow technique by firing Quincy arrows. So yeah, there you go. Choji's got a bit more on his resume. Now, when we last left Choji, now obviously I'm not going to use full-on adult Choji like we had in like the Boruto movie or the manga or anything like that, because we don't know all of his abilities. But we can use Choji by the end of the original Naruto series. And I know there's going to be people who are going to be like, you can totally use, like, look, I get it. I'll be honest, I stopped reading Naruto after it ended. I didn't care about Boruto, because when I read the Boruto manga, it's a little sidetrack here. When I read the Boruto, like that little manga where Sasuke's daughter went to go find her real dad, and when I saw bits of Boruto, the Naruto movie, I'm like, Boruto is a freaking brat. See, Naruto was a brat at points too, but there was a reason for it. He had no parents at all. He had no parents. He was looking for attention and acceptance. Boruto is just a spoiled little shit. I don't like the character of Boruto at all. So that's why I can't get into that series. But anyway, so Choji is not the fastest guy in the bunch. He can move all right for a guy his size, but really his claim to fame is using expansion jutsus and the human boulder jutsus. Of course, he knows the substitution as well. I think he probably knows the Shushin, or basically their version of kind of super speed a little bit. So I think he knows that substitution, normal clones. I know he can do that. Transformation jutsu. So he's got those in his roster. But his real deal is, using his expansion jutsu. Now he's got the human boulder, turns him into a boulder. Put chains on him, turns into a spiky human boulder. Then he's got partial expansion jutsu, which pretty much it can expand any of his limbs. Then he has full giant expansion. I can't remember the actual name, but he turns into a giant essentially. And then he has the calorie control technique, which gives him the butterfly wings, basically like almost chocolate armor, and everything is enhanced to like 100 times, and he can just like crater the earth with no problem in his base form, and it causes him to slim down too. Choji's also fairly strong and overall a pretty capable hand-to-hand fighter. Surprisingly, he's a capable hand-to-hand fighter. Particularly when you add things like his expansion jutsu and his expanding techniques. So, like this, let's say during the war, and by the way, someone got on my case, not on my case, but someone tried to point out to say, yeah, but Jiraiya wouldn't be able to necessarily see him, or like the Sternritters can't use their abilities to full power in the real world. For the hypothetical for this fight, let's just say that they can, just to make it fair. So yeah, you know what, let's say that somehow the Naruto gang are tasked to helping the Soul Society, and they wind up in the Soul Society. There, now they can use their full abilities. So yeah, and Choji ends up coming across past Liltotto. So they stare each other down, and Choji throws some kunais with explosive attacks. He's got those too, and they explode, and she comes out. It's like, whoa, and then she fires an arrow. It's like, that wasn't nice. But you look like you got a lot of meat on your bones. And that just makes me hungry. It's like, whoa, want some chips? You got any more of those? No? Well, you're next then. Choji gets out of the way. She's about to chomp down on him. Expansion jutsu! Oh, and then just a partial expansion jutsu. Blocks it with his giant hands. Huh? And she's like, huh? He's just holding the mouth agape. Just, and then he just pulls her. And then what? And she's just, whoa! Starts throwing her through some buildings. Yeah! And then she uses her, and then she gets out of it. It's like, okay, that hurt. She fires a couple more arrows. One of them hits Choji. He's hurt a bit. She comes in again. Choji gets out, punches the mouth. She's able to maybe like bite a finger. Just, It's like, okay. It's like, wow, you're really tough. That means you're just going to be that much fun to eat. No. Granted, she's not like sadistic or anything. She's actually pretty level-headed. But that doesn't mean she probably wouldn't be like, oh, that means you're probably going to be really fun to eat. And then she goes into her full stag, which doesn't have a name. It just gives her wings, enhanced abilities, enhanced arrow, all that stuff. So she's in her Voltag. She comes in faster and Choji's like, so it's like, goodbye, time to eat you. And then he just goes full expansion. Super expansion jutsu. That's what it's called. Super expansion jutsu. She goes in, and granted, she still takes a bite out of him, like a solid chunk. But instead of eating him whole, she may be given the size comparison of what we see in there. In fact, because I got a picture of it right here compared to how. So yeah, let me see how big she is in this picture. It doesn't say how big she can, by choosing to shift her mouth out there and standing for allowing it to gaping maw. It doesn't really say how big she can make her gaping maw mouth, but I imagine she can get pretty big. But let's say she doesn't eat like fully bite off something, but she takes a good chunk out of his arm, and she just but however, Choji's like, punches her just straight there, just boom. I mean, Choji can reach a size that would give Jiraiya a run for his money, and that could be a fine fight too. But just boom! She's hurt, but she comes back and is like, flies, you! And now she's a little ticked, but otherwise she's fine. She's firing arrows and trying to bite at him. She's like, She's getting a couple more nips in her. She's lost the fingers, maybe got a couple chunks out. It's like, she's huffing a little bit. Choji's now huffing. He has to shrink back down a bit. It's like, well, this is you are tasty. What do you eat? You taste like barbecue. Because that's the thing. Choji loves barbecue. Meat. I want to eat some meat. So now she's ready to just bring in the final coup de grace, if you will. She's like, well, I wonder if the rest of you will be just as tasty. Time to find out. And and then he just activates the calorie spin. It's like, you're not the only one who's got wings. It burns her mouth a bit. Just what the hell? And then she sees Choji now slimmed down, chunk still missing off his body. But now he's just looking at her with that look, and she's like, I don't like that. Boom! Right in the gut, just blitzes her. She coughs up blood, all that stuff. Then he just starts pummeling into her. I'm just almost thinking about. Because I watched the last episode of Dragon Ball Super where you just got I'll just imagine the Ultimate Fighter music playing. That'd be awesome. Choji kicking her ass to that music, that'd be awesome. And then boom, and then he keeps punching her. She's coughing up blood. And then he goes for the final blow. He says something about "Don't you threaten my friends" or something like that, because that's important to Choji. And then just does that. Smashes down with every bit of strength, channels it all into his fist, and just boom, blasts a hole straight through her. Just blah, and then she makes maybe like a little comment, and then just drops dead. So I think Choji has to take this simply because he's got more in his arsenal and more in his belt. He just does. He's got the means to evade her too. Like he could have, as long as he got the chakra to do it, he could have evaded the gaping maw of her mouth with just substitutions alone. But now, is there a way she could win? Absolutely. She could take him off guard and swallow him whole and just chew him up. Absolutely, she could win. She could theoretically take enough bites out of him when he's giant, maybe even bite his arm off, and then, he can bleed out. So don't think for a minute there's not a way she can win. But if you're going to ask me who wins in that fight scenario, I'm going to say Choji wins the majority. I'd go about 65. No, I didn't even go 70% Choji. I think there's a very real scenario where she catches him off guard and bites enough of him off, or eats him, chews him up, or takes his head off or something like that. I think that's a very realistic scenario. But again, that said, I think the most realistic scenario is Choji wins the majority of the fight. But hey, let me know if you think different. If you do, that's cool. Put in the comments below. Let me know. And hey, if you guys have ideas for who wins, what if superhero magic, what if anything, I just said what if, Dragon Ball, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below, and I'll get to that at some point. Anything you'd like us to review, put that in the comments below as well. So it's going to be Dominaria through the week. Who would win for the week? Jesus Christ, that's 2 videos a day I got to do minimum. Well, up until Saturday when I just have to do, the who would wins. And since there's no Dragon Ball Super has now officially ended, Saturday is the beginning of the power level videos. That's right. And I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm gonna do the best I can to figure out what I determine to be of all the power levels for all the characters to date in Dragon Ball Z. And I do mean all of them except Yajirobe, because no one gives a crap about Yajirobe in that sense. And why are you asking? Power levels are bullshit. Yeah, but it's fun. So you know what? It's fun. So yeah, Saturday will be the start of that since Dragon Ball Super is gone for the time being. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks